It seems that these are turbulent times in the land of the Dunmer.
Indeed, if you are to believe the dialogue in the Elder Scrolls for Oblivion, the land of the Dunmer, Morrowind, suffers terribly at the time of the Oblivion crisis that you play through in Oblivion, but of course there's nothing you can do about that. Or is there? I'm Icer. I haven't recorded anything in a very long time, and I have not played this particular save game in a very long time. But I thought it was time for another Oblivion video, and it's also connected with another video I made back in 2012 where I reviewed a mod called Solstheim, Mournhold and Vardenfell, or maybe Vardenfell and Mournhold. Anyway, it was a mod that let you go to Solstheim, or even sort of go to Vardenfell in Oblivion at the time of the Oblivion crisis, the time of this, you know. And the problem with that mod was that it was very far from being finished, and it was also, even then, dead. The mod makers decided to leave it at it as it was, and I said, this was interesting, but what we really could have used was a mod for another mod, a mod for Morrowind, the project that really set out to recreate not the Morrowind of the time of the Oblivion crisis, but the Morrowind of the game Morrowind 6 years prior to the Oblivion crisis. And I said, what I really would have wanted was a version of Oblivion, sorry, a version of Morrowind that let us go with our Oblivion character to Morrowind at the time of Oblivion rather than Morrowind 6 years before. And actually, I found a mod that starts doing that. It's called Morrowind Oblivion Crisis. You can find it on Tes Renewal or Morrowblivion's own pages. And I plan basically to feature that mod in this video. I'm also showcasing another mod called Vardenfell Portal. Basically, that's because the mod Morrowind Oblivion Crisis mod, well, two reasons. First, it tends to just break character generation and transport as the Morrowind mod presents it by default. And another reason is that Morrowind transport mod, well, it takes you aboard the prison ship, like in the original Morrowind game, and keep people there, obviously, treat you like some sort of common scum criminal prisoner, which is a little bit odd if you are actually, like this character here from my Oblivion Let's Play, is the champion of Cyrodiil. So instead, we're going to use Summon Vardenfell Portal, which simply summons a portal, letting us go, well, logically, to Vardenfell. Like I said, this character has completed the main quest of Oblivion and closed all the Oblivion gates. And that kind of actually negates one big thing of what the Morrowind Oblivion Crisis mod does, and that it simply puts a bunch of Oblivion gates around in Vardenfell. You see, I'm here now in Saint Denis, in the original arrival area of the original Morrowind game, and also the Morrowind mod. Since I've used the portal to Vardenfell, I cannot actually enter this area, which is for character generation, and a good thing that is too, because currently in the state of the Morrowind Oblivion Crisis mod, and currently would be after version 64 of Morrowind was released, this area here is going to mess up badly. Of course, I can't start the main quest, And the main reason for that is not actually just that this area here is very has some odd bugs, but it's that the main quest is about the Nerevarine 6 years ago, and he, according to lore, he completed that stuff 6 years ago, so it makes no sense for this character 6 years later to start doing the same things all over again. Let's go take the Silt Strider, though. I don't think the Silt Strider was there in the lands of yes, so we can take the Silt Strider and travel to... we can go lots of places. Let's go to Balor. Let me first just show you that unlike the lands of Solstheim, Vardenfell and Mournhold Mod, yeah, Balor is actually here as a town, and not just as a map marker with a bunch of, how can I put it, wilderness and forest and animals in it. In fact, what you have here is, well, very basically more Oblivion, a recreation of the original Morrowind game.
Yes, Outlander.
Recreated with a great deal of fidelity to the original game. Don't know why this plant is in the middle of the masonry there, but anyway, if you have played Morrowind, you will perhaps remember that in the main quest, which has been deactivated, you'll be going over here to talk to Kais Kosadis. Now his place is locked up. I doubt my character would be able to crack the lock, especially as he has no lockpicks. So let me just prove to you, using a console command, that I can get inside, and Kais Kosadis, that crucial character in the Morrowind main quest, is missing. As, frankly, he should be. Given everything that's happened, it makes perfect sense that Kais Kosadis has gone somewhere else sometime in those 6 years and isn't hanging around here anymore. But the rest of Balmora is mostly here. And I think it also is fair to assume that Balmora hasn't really changed that much. 6 years is a while, but it's not that long a time. Another thing Haldar has done is the town of Alrun. You may remember from dialogue in Oblivion that that's been overrun by Daedra. In fact, has even been wiped out by Daedra. Well, it's not quite as bad as that. But if you go to Alrun, yes, my frame rate right now is terrible, because this place is certainly overrun with Daedra. And this is with even with a character who has finished the main quest, but this town is basically a battlefield between Daedra and Redrun God, desperately trying to defend the town. Townspeople will of course get embroiled in the fighting, and well, it's up to you to try and help them out, or leave them to their fate, as dictated by law, I suppose. But at least you're here at the time of the Oblivion Gates threatening the city. Now, let's look at a character who has not finished the main quest for Oblivion. In fact, this character has not even delivered the amulet to Joffrey. I kind of want to have distant lands on, because you can see. Can you see that? Yeah. Oblivion Gate. There's one right there. And there are lots of these in the mod base made by Haldar. There are some things about it. You can't, for example, actually go into it. This door leads nowhere. That doesn't really bother me. The way to get rid of the gate is to finish the main quest in Oblivion. However, there is a lot of stuff people are talking about that the modder didn't quite fix up. Let's talk about latest rumors. And he talks for example about, seemed the fuss about the Nerevarine prophecy was just silly superstition. And then I learned that Dunmer have been waiting for Lord Nerevar to come back for centuries of the Incarnate. They go, look, anyone who's paid any attention back in the time of Morrowind, the game of the Nerevarine, you know the Nerevarine has already shown up.
Keep moving.
So this is like legacy dialogue, I guess, from Oblivion. There's a lot of it. So what you have here is a mod that has recreated Morrowind perfectly, but it has not really updated everything to what it would be like 6 years later. There may be Daedra or Oblivion gates, depending on whether you've done the main quest. There are no cliff races anymore, because St. Jube supposedly got rid of them. But we also learn, for example, that slavery has actually been banned by King Helseth. And as you can see, behind this door, well, those look a lot like slaves to me. Just go talk to them. Would you let Majidar go free? Go free? Slavery has been ended, hasn't it? I'm just a slave, Sarah. Majidar cannot be freed without the key. Well, you should be freed already with the,
Khajiit serve well.
Khajiit should be able to go free already. Well, of course it's possible that these slavers here in this Shishishi dungeon are not willing to let these guys go free, but it jars a bit. There are things that still jar. Going up towards Red Mountain, which is where the real bad guy of Morrowind resided. There are some things that aren't quite in line. Here's we've got the ghost fence still up and running, and we've got ash monsters. Well, some ash monsters could certainly still be hanging around. I doubt the Nerevarine wiped out every single one, and even in 6 years since that, I probably haven't wiped them all out. But the ghost fence really ought to drop. When the Nerevarine finishes his main quest, and he should have done that before the time of Oblivion. And things like this. The blight storms here up on Red Mountain, they should also be gone. Haldar did some work on Dagoth itself. He got rid of the monster and locked up the dungeon where he's at, so that's good. But I think this whole area, I mean, there should not be blight storms here. Now you can do a lot of the original faction quests, like the Mages Guild, for example. Join the Mages Guild and do quests for them and stuff, like it did in original Morrowind, which is really cool. Leaves you something to do. It makes sense that the Nerevarine didn't do all that stuff. It leaves some stuff for others to do later. But what the mod really needs, of course, is a bunch of new quests and things to do. Like, you know, we learn in Oblivion, in the dialogue there, that the Tilvani are trying sort of unsuccessfully to learn how to shut down Oblivion gates. About that, what about those freed slaves? Where are they gonna go? What are they gonna do? There's a massive scope here, I should think, for a bit of creativity. Well, what happens basically tomorrow in all the tumults of the Oblivion crisis? I'm gonna see what I can actually be able to pull off, but I'd need to learn a lot more about Oblivion modding before I'd be able to do that. And of course it will be a very large undertaking. I have modded a lot of Morrowind, but I've never actually modded Oblivion before, so whether I'd be able to mess with any of this, I don't know. So, I've been Isaac, thanks for watching, and until the next video, go in peace and live and let live.